everybody, welcome to the Park Mapping Podcast. I'm Bruce.
And I'm Harbor.
And today we are going to be rating our top 10 themed lands at Disney World. But before we get into that, we were just having a little bit of discussion.
Yeah, tomorrow's Father's Day, and we're both feeling, I guess, we're recording at night, and we both feel kind of old and tired, and that's perfect because tomorrow's Father's Day. And
it's fitting.
Yeah, you were telling me about, you can check your heart rate and stuff with your watch? Or?
I'm not wearing it right now, and thankfully, because I just got back from a work trip, and it's about every 10 to 15 minutes now. Everyone noticed. It wasn't I was noticing it before. Maybe I was doing it subconsciously, but I don't know how many people pointed out to me on this trip that they said, you got to stop looking at your heart rate. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's normal or not. And I'm getting to that age where I'm like always worried. I was sitting on the couch earlier, and I felt like my heart rate or my rhythm was a little off, and I'm like, what's going on? So now we have a little machine at the house to take my blood pressure.
Yep, I got one of those too now.
Yeah, so just getting to be that age.
Old. I thought you were going to say that like people could see your heart rate on your watch and tell you like, man, slow down.
No,
like you're going too fast.
Nope. They were like, you're fine. You're not.
Yeah.
You're just fine. So just stop looking at it, because it was actually giving them anxiety. Because I was looking at it too much. So I deal with the same thing. I try not to look at it, because then it's like a spiral. It's a perpetual spiral of, do I need to calm down? And I can't seem to calm down, because when I think about it, my heart rate goes up. Anyways, that's funny. Yeah, totally opposite. It's funny. It's like the same. It's like the same but different. Like I'm checking it so I don't get anxiety, but like you don't check it because it gives you anxiety.
Yeah. So. All right, we're going to try to find a way to transition. You know what is giving a lot of people anxiety this week is parking. So we're going to get into state of the parks first before we get into our main topic. Big news this week. I mean, I've seen it all over social media, people talking about it. There's some big changes to transportation when it comes to Disney Springs at Disney World. So if you have ever been to Disney Springs, you know, you can park for free. It's free parking. There's a couple different parking garages. And usually if you wanted to hop on a bus or one of the boats that goes out to some of the other resorts, there was no stopping you, right? Mm-hmm. And some people like to use that for resort hopping. Some people like to use those buses as a hack, which I do not agree with. This is not telling you, I would not be one of the ones to say like, hey, use this as a hack. But basically, there's issues with people trying to park for free at Disney Springs, getting on a resort bus, and let's say you're going to the Magic Kingdom. Yeah. Get on a resort bus that goes to the Contemporary, and you can just walk over to the Magic Kingdom. You don't have to worry about parking. So now Disney's making some changes to their policies here. So beginning June 28th, which I think is going to be the day that this podcast comes out, guest boarding in Walt Disney World bus service or the Sascagoula River Cruise from Disney Springs to visit our Disney Resort hotels will be asked to show a valid Disney Resort hotel room key, Magic Band, or a dining or Enchanted Extras reservation. And just a couple extra details here. If you have a dining reservation at a resort hotel, you can board that specific bus for that hotel within 2 hours of your reservation, or an experience. So like horseback riding at Fort Wilderness, something like that. Yeah. So up to 2 hours around there. I've seen a lot of people talking about this, people worried, and I started thinking about like, okay, who does this actually affect? Yeah. And there's very few people this is going to affect. It. If you are staying at a Walt Disney World resort, this doesn't affect you at all. And people have been like, okay, well, if I'm getting on a bus here, does it, if I get on a bus from Hollywood Studios to the Contemporary, are they going to check my Magic Band? Mm-hmm. No, they're not. This is only for Disney Springs transportation.
So do you think they're going to have like a tap point on the bus, or because it's going to slow things down?
Yeah.
It's always like a guy, and I used to be that guy, so I know, but when you're traveling with a big family and you got little kids and you're the guy with the stroller, it's all folded up, and you're trying to do that and show someone your phone. Yeah,
so this isn't the first time they've done this. They've done it like during busy times, like around 4th of July or Christmas, things like that, Easter weekend. But they're saying it's going to be permanent now. So I think that they've had in the past, they've had like a cast member with probably like an iPad or some kind of tablet just checking. So either, scanning your Magic Band there with them, or showing them on your phone, if you have like the app, showing them, hey, I have a reservation at this time, or email confirmation, things like that. So yeah, that's if you're at Disney Springs and you are not a resort guest and you don't have a reservation at one of the other resorts, you cannot get on the resort bus to but again, I think people, like, seriously, I've seen this all over like Instagram and Facebook, people freaking out. I think people are getting a little too kind of excited about it. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, the main thing is that they're trying to keep people from like getting out of paying for parking when they're going to theme parks. And then they want the buses available for people who are staying at the resorts. Because they get priority, right? Like they're staying there. That's their amenity that they get of, free use of the transportation.
Yeah, I've never tried to use that as a hack, even if we stayed off property. It just seems like a lot of fuss to try to save $30.
Yeah, because one of the things is the buses don't run to the theme parks, and that's why.
Yeah.
The buses don't run from Disney Springs to the theme parks.
Sure.
And that's the main reason why. So it's like a lot of hassle to go through to save like $35.
Yeah.
But apparently people care enough to do it, and I think those are the two main things that they're trying to cut back on.
I kind of get it. I don't mind saving money.
Yeah.
But that just seems like, because the last time we went to Disney Springs twice, and I think both times parking is just getting worse and worse and worse. And there was one point where I think, what do they have? They have like 3 parking garages, I think, and 2 of them were completely full.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it is getting pretty crazy, but that's a lot. That's just too much to go through.
And that's the thing is, like, you are there just to spend money at Disney Springs, and you can't find a parking spot. And that's, if people are going there to park, to go to the resorts or to go to the parks, then it's keeping people from visiting who actually want to spend money. I
know we got to move on, but I'm kind of surprised that they don't just start paying for parking at Disney Springs.
Yeah, well, I think they want people to go there because they know that people are going to go and spend money.
Yeah, and
I think about somewhere like Universal City Walk, you have to pay there because they share the same parking garages with 2 of their parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. So you do have, I think that's probably an advantage to people coming into town. Maybe they don't have theme park tickets. They're not staying at a resort, but they're like, well, we can go to Disney Springs and it's free. They go and spend money, So I think that's an advantage. That would be their other option, but I think this is probably the better option, The only thing I can think of like a legit issue is maybe, there's certain things you can do at the resorts that don't require a reservation.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of like getting beignets at French Quarter.
Oh.
What's the other thing? Or like going to the boardwalk.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like if you drove to French Quarter and said, we're here to get beignets, would they let you park? I imagine maybe some of some of the moderate resorts, I feel like you're probably not going to have that issue. But if you are like, hey, pulling up to the Polynesian saying we just want to get Dole Whip, I don't think that's gonna fly. So I guess it depends. I'm sure we'll just have to kind of see how it changes things for people. But I don't think the impact is as big as people have been assuming.
Doesn't sound like it to me. It would never in a million years affect me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken a bus to Disney Springs. I've only been a couple times, and we always drove. So
yeah.
All right. Next thing, and this does kind of tie into it, is there are new additions coming to the Boardwalk Inn, which is a deluxe resort and DVC villas, but they've also got this stretch of boardwalk that's kind of themed to like Coney Island kind of style stuff. So they've got restaurants and shops and stuff. One of them is getting updated. There was a bar there called Jelly Rolls, and there's a new, I guess, a club. Yeah, you consider it a club. It's going in there called Hurly Burly. And I'll just read the description from Disney. It says, during the afternoon, guests can drop by for family-friendly activities like trivia and other games led by a charismatic host. By night, Hurly Burly will transition into a live music venue, welcoming guests 21 and over to unwind with classic coastal-inspired cocktails and tasty light bites. So like a bar with a restaurant, live music, things like that. So kind of adding some more entertainment options in that area. There's also going to be a new, I want to call it, like, just from the description, it sounds like an apothecary. It's like handmade soaps, things like that.
Okay.
That's called the Basin Store. That's going to be another store that's opening at the boardwalk. And then there is a quick service restaurant that I think they just haven't said, there's one coming to the boardwalk. They haven't said what it is. But I think, Jelly Rolls, I've never been to Jelly Rolls when it was there, but it's like a chain. And I think they just relocated to somewhere else in Orlando.
Is that like, that's not like the singer, Jelly Roll?
That is a singer, but it's not his club. No.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah. I'm not a bit, I don't know.
There's the jelly, it's not the face tattoo guy. I know he has a face tattoo. I couldn't tell you one
no
of
face tattoo guys at Disney, guys. No.
Yeah. Have I seen anybody with a face tattoo at Disney? I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, at least no themed restaurants, at least.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I've definitely seen some people.
Yeah, again, we're not... Now, maybe you go to Old Town, go hang out on 192, you'll see some face tattoos for sure.
All right.
But yeah, so looks like it's going to be kind of a nightclub because it's over 21 at a certain point during the night. But yeah, I think Jelly Rolls was like a dueling piano bar. So it's...
Never been.
Yeah. Honestly, like the first time I've ever been to the boardwalk was the last time I went, and I just walked from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. So that's the only time I've seen the boardwalk.
It was frigid.
It was freezing. Yeah, it was like 20 degrees. It was a great walk. It's like, why am I doing this? I have no idea what I'm doing. All right. Last thing on State of the Parks. If you are at 4th of July... if you were at Disney World during 4th of July, they are going to have some special, 4th of July fireworks. And it actually is that entire weekend. So it's July 3rd through the 5th. If you are at Magic Kingdom, instead of Happily Ever After, they're going to do the Disney Celebrates America fireworks show. That's going to be at 9 p.m. on those 3 nights. And also on July 4th, Magic Kingdom is going to be open from 8 a.m. to midnight. So
nice.
Yeah. I'd love a day like that because I can't remember the last time Magic Kingdom was open till midnight. It's a long time. Like, whenever I've gone, it's been like 10, 11 o'clock.
I don't know if I can hang from 8 to midnight, but it would be nice to get there a little, enjoy a little sleep in and know that you've got a couple extra hours.
I know we were just talking about how old we are and like how we're tired, but then I'm like, well, but if it's Magic Kingdom, I'd like to,
I mean, I would attempt it.
Yeah.
Don't know if I could hang.
See how long you could last.
Yeah. Nice little challenge.
Yeah. And then Epcot is going to have, so they're going to do Luminous like usual, and then there's a tag on the end of it called Heartbeat of Freedom. That's going to be kind of their 4th of July presentation. So that's kind of an extra thing on top of Luminous. And so, Luminous usually starts at 9 o'clock. You can expect that Heartbeat of Freedom tag to happen at 9:15 or so. So that pretty much covers most of what's going on at Disney World right now. And Bruce, we'll go ahead and get into our topic here about our top 10 theme lands.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. This one was kind of difficult because depending on how you look at it now, because when I started talking to my family about it earlier, and some people consider World Showcase each country and there to be an individual land. We are considering World Showcase for this to be one single unit.
There's a couple things on here that were difficult to decide. Yeah, World Showcase is one because technically it is one land. I mean, and even now, like Epcot technically has like 4 lands, but up until a few years ago, it was always Future World and World Showcase.
Yeah.
Now it's World Celebration, World Nature, World Discovery. They like kind of divided the front park into 3 different sections. And then I didn't put this on my list, but I know like a couple of weeks ago we were talking about how there's these lands that you don't even realize are lands.
Yeah, I had that. Yes.
Like at Hollywood Studios, if you look at the map, Commissary Way is considered a land.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the same thing with on my list. I put it on here because and we'll get into it, but I feel like Animal Kingdom has the most, the most immersive lands to me. And I didn't realize that when you first walked in that was a land
its
right
own
there.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's interesting. But yeah, we tried to narrow down to our top 10, and here's what we did. I made my own list, Bruce made his own list, and then we combined them together, kind of scored them, so number 1 on your list is like 10 points, number 2 is 9, right? And then I combined them, and whichever ones were the highest score, top 10 highest score, ended up in our top 10 list. We'll go through, as we go through these, and say what it was on each of our individual lists, and maybe we can cover the ones that kind of didn't make it in the top 10.
Okay.
But I guess we'll kind of start how we did with the roller coasters. What was your criteria trying to make this list?
So this was interesting for me because I personally was trying to take the rides out of it because I wanted it to be about the immersion. So for me, it was like, what's that wow factor when you first walk into it? And, if it's for instance, Asia theme, do I really feel like I'm in Asia? Is there, Asian architecture and, posters on the walls, things like that? Like, because there are some lands where you go into it and you're like, there's a couple of things around here that remind me of whatever it's supposed to be. But then there's other ones where you are just 100% surrounded by it.
Yeah. Like how immersed are you in that theme? Yeah. I definitely was thinking the same things. I took some of the rides into account, more of like, how excited am I to be in this land?
Okay. Yeah.
So some of that has to do with rides, but not all of it. I think it's definitely, what lands have the most detail. Also, what kind of like emotional attachment do I have to that land? So there are some lands that I would say like technically are the best themed, and maybe I didn't put them as high because maybe I'd only been there a couple times and it didn't blow me away.
Right.
And we'll get into it because I know that we have some that were high on your list and low on mine, vice versa. And I think some of that, I took some of that into account of like, I know this is technically a really, really good themed land. Details are awesome, but for whatever reason, I just don't have a connection to it.
Yeah, right.
And it honestly could be just like the day or whatever. So, all right, so we'll get into it. We'll start with our top 10, or with number 10 here.
Okay.
So we'll start from 10, go down to 1. Number 10 was Sunset Boulevard at Hollywood Studios. And I'll kind of try to, give you an idea of what's in those lands. So Sunset Boulevard at Hollywood Studios is kind of off to when you walk in the main gate, that first turn you get to, the first fork in the road off to the right, that's Sunset Boulevard. It's continues that theme of like 1930s, 1940s Hollywood. At the end of the road is Tower of Terror. It's kind of the main icon of that section. And you've got Rock and Roller Coaster. You've got Beauty and the Beast. Is it Live on Stage? I think is what it's called. Beauty and the Beast. The new villain show over by Rock and Roller Coaster as well. There's the amphitheater for Fantasmic. So yeah, overall theme 1930s, 1940s Hollywood. This was number 6 on my list, and Bruce just didn't make it on your list. So I guess I'll talk about it first because it was on my list.
Yeah, sure.
Why it was on there. We've talked about Hollywood Studios a lot and kind of its struggle with finding a theme, their theme changing, going from a working studio park to more just like a celebration of the movies. I think this part retains that original like Hollywood that always was, but that Hollywood that never was but always will be. I feel like it retains that the most. And the main area of Hollywood Studios at Hollywood Boulevard, I mean, it's basically the same theming. I just feel like that road is longer, that stretch is longer. There's more kind of area for it to kind of for them to put in more details. For example, one of the shops there is a replica of the Carthay Circle Theater, which is where Snow White premiered in Los Angeles, like in, I think it was 1930 something or whatever. So it's like a cool little detail the Imagineers put in there. Yeah. Tower of Terror, one of my favorite rides at Disney World, one of the best themed rides. So yeah, that's why I put it there. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, so I did think about putting this one on my list.
Yeah.
I think it was probably it would be an honorable mention for me. I just think, again, when I go in, and maybe it's because I've been to Hollywood Studios so many times. Like when I take that turn, like you said, it is awesome to see the Tower of Terror in the back. But to me, it's just a line of shops and
Sure.
little stalls to get some food. And I mean, so I guess technically Rock and Roller Coaster and the Villains show is all part of that.
Yeah.
But you lose that kind of theme when you go into there. It's not.
You're right.
You lose that theming.
You do, yeah. And I think that's. There's really no good explanation for that. And even the premise of Tower of Terror is that the event that the people who are in the elevator get struck by lightning. And it's like Hollywood. It's Halloween night, 1939. But then the hotel is opening back up. Yeah. And it is kind of confusing because it's like, okay, is it supposed to be present day Hollywood? And, this hotel's been abandoned for years. Or is it still in that timeline? It's not really clear. But most of you're right. Most of the street is themed for that time period, and then you have Rock and Roller Coaster that kind of knocks it off.
But I will say I agree with you 100%. You take that turn, you see that stretch, and you do feel like you're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and when you see the Tower of Terror in the back, it's almost like, for some people, it's probably like walking down Main Street, USA, and seeing the Magic King, or the Cinderella's Castle or something like that.
Well, we talked about it on our Hollywood Studios episodes. It is kind of strange how this park is laid out because Hollywood Boulevard is supposed to be the main street, and you have the Chinese theater there, but Sunset Boulevard just has like the better icon.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of like make a detour to see it. It's not the first thing you see when you come into the park, but so that's why I appreciate it. So all right, and then number 9 we have Africa, and Bruce, this was and Africa is at Animal Kingdom. So this is some of the attractions there are Kilimanjaro Safari, the Legend of the Lion King, and then I guess that's where you get on the train for Conservation Station as well. Bruce, this was number 5 on your list. I didn't put this on my list.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, a lot of this for me again is that immersion, the architecture. I want to say I love just that the buildings are very on point. Even the street performers, you always have the guys that come out and they do the drum show and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I love every bit of that. You walking over to the bridge and there's the scenery. I don't know about all the little, like you said, if there's any throwbacks or anything like that. But the posters on the walls, the food in there is great, and I just feel like when I get in there, the music and the atmosphere really just makes me feel like I'm in a different country.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I'll say the only reason it didn't show up on my list is because there's another Animal Kingdom land that I put on here, and it was kind of like, well, do I put both of them? And I just, for whatever reason, just decided. Yeah, you did, which is fine. Yeah. But I mean, overall, I would agree. I think you have all the the posters that are supposed to be, they're all these wheat paste posters to kind of show.
Yeah,
it feels very lived in and it feels very authentic. It's very cool.
And I will say, as we get down the list, I'm not going to ruin it right now. There's one that should have made my list in hindsight, and it didn't. And it is definitely on yours. And when we get to it, I'll let you know. And I'm kind of bummed now and thinking about it. I probably should have done what you did and took one of my Animal Kingdom ones off and replaced it with this other one. But we'll get there. We'll
talk about the thing about Animal Kingdom is, honestly, it is the most beautiful park at Disney World. And the best themed, the best detailed. The only issue with it is it's kind of one note because it is all themed to animals and these different areas of the world, but they're all kind of have that tropical jungle feel to them for the most part. So this section, Africa, has that same jungle feel. I think it's incredibly themed. If you've ever watched Imagineering Story on Disney Plus, they have Joe Rohde on there, who's the Imagineer behind Animal Kingdom, talking about putting the patina on the copper pipes and all these little weathering details of and finding artifacts of how do we keep this, how do we find this artifact which we really got from Africa and make it to where it'll last out in the Florida sun for 30 years or whatever. I mean, the detail in this land is incredible. So, so that's our number 9. All right. This is our first one that we both agreed on. Number 8, and I think I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on this, and we'll compare. Number 8 is World Celebration at Epcot. Now, this is the front of the park. Again, we talked about the front of the park used to be one land called Future World. Now it's broken up into 3. So World Celebration is the very front, like the entrance part of the park where Spaceship Earth is, and then kind of the back area behind Spaceship Earth. I think they call them, Celebration Gardens. This is where the statue of Walt is. It's called Dreamer's Point, I believe. You've got Communicore Hall right there, and then it also encompasses kind of some of the back area too. So like the Imagination Pavilion is considered World Celebration as well. So that kind of covers that part of the land.
Yeah.
Bruce, we were actually pretty close because you had it number 7, I had it number 8.
So for me, it's just that wow factor when you get through the turnstiles. Mm-hmm. You've got the Epcot sphere there. I mean, and especially if you go at night when it's all illuminated, nothing beats it. And then the way that they've got the monorail laid out that comes through there, and now there's even this viral spot now. And last time we went, Monica said we got to find this trash can. I said, what's so special about this trash can? Well, apparently, it's the best vantage point to set your camera up, and if you time it just right, and everyone has like little stopwatches now, you can get the most amazing picture of the monorail passing in front of the Epcot ball with your family in front of it. So it's your family, the monorail, and then the Epcot ball. We did it. Yeah. It came out great. But I love that. I mean, and that's really why I did it. Everything behind it, like you were talking about, that's great too. But for me, when you came in, especially when that monorail's passing by and you've got all that, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that area. I know that there's, I would say, maybe some controversy with fans because they redid this part of the park and it took them a very long time. And then I think what happened is it was around COVID and there was a lot of budget cuts. So there were some things that there was supposed to be a whole new festival building that didn't get built. They took out the fountain, and I think originally there were some plans to do a new fountain, and then they just put a planter there instead. So there's some controversy around it. What I love about this area is, number 1, just Spaceship Earth, just an amazing icon, just incredible. Is the first geodesic sphere to be built. They'd built things that were like a dome before. This is the first time they built like a freestanding sphere of that size, and it has a ride in it.
Yeah.
To me, the other big thing about this area is the music, because they've updated the music. They've got this newer Epcot score. It's been there for a couple years, but I love that music. It makes me tear up when I go to that area. Right. It sounds so good. I know people miss like the old Innoventions music, but I prefer this music. It's just feels very inspirational. Kind of has the right style to fit the theme of Epcot, the kind of ideas behind Epcot. So that's what I like about it. You also have the Walt statue.
Did you ever hear, so we had to do this, and it was a thing for years too, much like the trash can, but they had the bubblegum wall is over there is what they call it. And a lot of big influencers and just a lot of famous Instagrammers love to take photos by it, and it's at the exit of Spaceship Earth. So when you come out, there's how there's a lot of, again, this kind of futuristic look. There's a lot of sharp edges with the painting and things like that. So and I don't know, I'm sure this is an art style, but there's a lot of purples and pinks and things like that. And when you come out, it's a purple/pink wall, and they call it the bubblegum wall. And it's just a really popular place to get photos.
Is that the exit of Spaceship Earth?
I thought it was.
Huh. I don't know.
You know what? Now I got to look it up. Make sure I'm not. I'm going to look it up because I thought that's where it was at. It's either that or near some bathrooms. But
yeah. And the other, I guess, while you're looking at that, the other thing I love about this part of the park is just nighttime when the lights go on Spaceship Earth. They run shows, kind of nighttime shows off the sphere. Okay.
So maybe I'll put a photo up for everyone. This is the bubblegum wall as you're coming out of the the exit of Spaceship Earth.
That probably is right out of Spaceship Earth.
I don't know why. It became an iconic spot to take photos for
There's another
this new
wall.
generation.
There's another wall like that in Tomorrowland that was like a big Instagram moment wall, kind of between. I think it was like in front of Monsters Inc. floor. If you're going to Tomorrowland Terrace,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because there's something new. They have like a new mural or something painted there because my daughter wanted to get a photo there last time. I can't remember what they changed it to, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Cool. All right, number 7. This is Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios. So of course this land is completely themed to Toy Story, and you've got 3 rides here. You've got Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Mania, Alien Swirling Saucers, and Bruce, you had this at number 3. Yep. I didn't put this on my list, so tell me about why you put this on your list.
Yeah, for me, it's just, again, when you walk into that land, you feel like you've shrunk down. You feel like you're about an inch tall. Woody's like 15 feet tall. Even all the characters inside, there's where the Slinky Dog is. It's part of the ride too, I guess, but it's all, there's more characters like is it Jesse and Rex and all that. They're climbing some blocks and trying to hang some lights, and I don't know. And again, the immersion, they've got the plastic toy soldiers that'll come through the drum, the army men. They come through with the drum line. It's not a big section of the park at all. By all rights, it's very, very tiny, and it is very, very crowded. But I do feel like I've shrunk down to the size of a small toy when I walk in there, and I think that's amazing.
You know what I guess it maybe didn't take up the same area. I was like, you know where else you used to be able to shrink down in Hollywood Studios? Yep. Was that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playset?
I remember that.
Almost that same area too. Yeah, I mean the theming it's very on point, and I think kids love this area of the park. I mean, you always see. Every time I see like a friend that is going to Hollywood Studios and taking their kids always have, it's like getting their picture with Buzz and Woody and Jesse is like the main thing. I think my favorite part of this land is Toy Story Mania.
Oh yeah,
I think I had only ridden it a couple of times, but really fun ride.
It is fun, and it's different now because they changed the entrance because when they did the land. So, but in that, well, that's a whole nother topic. But there's like some of the parks have these like weird defunct areas, and that's one of them. Like so when I don't even know what it's called anymore.
I think it's called. Is it Pixar Place or Pixar?
Maybe, but there's
Plaza?
only one thing down there now, and there's like a meet and greet with Edna Mode, and then there's a place where you can get that viral like Jack Jack's something. It's like a chocolate chip cookie, and that's about it because it used to have the entrance to Toy Story Mania, but now it's on the backside.
Yeah.
So
if you want to hear about that whole corner of what used to be there, you can go back and listen to our 2-part Hollywood Studios episode.
Oh, it probably is in there, isn't it? And then they used to have the double doors open, I think, because you used to go around. And that led to the backside of is that
the backlot tour? I think that's where the backlot tour boarded was like if you went into where Pixar Plaza is, and then there's probably a back wall there, and that behind that back wall would probably be where the backlot tour used to be. So but yeah, I mean we've talked about Slinky Dog Dash on this podcast before. Did you guys have you been to the Woody's Barbecue?
No.
Woody's Roundup Barbecue?
So we had that on our reservations because believe it or not, we don't eat meat, but they have like a whole vegetarian, vegan, like thing. It's very expensive. It's not cheap, but it's like all you can eat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it ends up being for like a family of 4. You're going to pay almost $200.
Yeah.
But all the characters come out. Again, it's one of those things, though. You're paying for the atmosphere and the characters.
Yeah.
Not so much the food, although I do hear the barbecue is pretty good. But I have not eaten there yet.
I think I heard something that they used to come out with like a giant pencil to sign the bill.
Oh,
but then they got rid of it because people ruined it somehow because that's what always happens.
It does have one of my favorite snack spots, though, which is was it Woody's Lunchbox?
Yeah.
They have this thing in there called tachos. It's literally tater tots made like nachos. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Okay. Now we're at number 6. Number 6 is World Showcase at Epcot. So, World Showcase. This is the entire back of Epcot. You have 11 different countries, 11 different sections of different countries. Kind of scattered around that lagoon. I guess I won't go to list all 11, but you've got Mexico. Some of the more popular ones I'd say is like Mexico, Japan, Morocco, France, UK, Norway. So I had this at World Showcase. I had it at number 9, and you had it at number 4. So we kind of met in the middle here at number 6. World Showcase is awesome because it has really good theming in that, like, every country is kind of what would you call it? It's like a snapshot of that country, The thing that I love about World Showcase is the exploration part of it. And it's not every country's pavilion, but there's some really, really good ones that you can kind of go back, because there's this main walkway that goes to the front of all of them, and then some of them you can kind of walk back into them and find some cool things. Morocco is one where you kind of walk through that kind of marketplace area. Canada has this big waterfall that's kind of tucked back behind there. Japan is really cool. It's got these gardens and stuff. So, and then a couple episodes ago, we talked about Mexico Pavilion, how, most of it is indoors, and going in going inside that pyramid and seeing like the little marketplace at night's very cool. So that's what I like about it. I'd say the only weakness of this land is not a lot of rides. There's 3 rides. They all kind of, 2 of them are water rides and they're right next to each other. But yeah, and I guess the other thing is it's not as, whimsical as other parts of Disney, because it's done in a way that it's not supposed to be kind of cartoony or anything. They did it as realistic as they could without it feeling like a replica, of a certain street in a certain city or whatever.
Yeah. And there's like no characters back there.
Yeah. Well, there's a few. Actually, I think there's an area where, I don't know where it is, where they like train the like characters out, or they like test them out.
Oh,
and
really?
There's like a certain time where they'll bring out like 10 at a time, and they're usually characters that like you don't see.
Well,
usually,
just don't go to like France thinking that there's going to be like a Remy out like doing a meet and greet, because it's not like that. But I would say, for me, I love it because if I could make France its own, like some people do, like we talked about this at the beginning. Some people, it is like France is its own land. The Eiffel Tower, everything there is just like, I don't know what the scaling is, but the music changes as you go from place to place. Everyone that works there is from that country.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's funny is, speaking of France, like the last time I was there and rode Ratatouille, it was like the end of the night. Like it was literally like got on at like 8:58. They closed at 9. And I think, was it when I was trying to get out, there was like the door wouldn't open. And
the door of the
ride vehicle, okay. Yeah. And the cast member kind of like rolled his eyes and started talking to the other guy, and they were talking in French, and I was like, honestly, this is very authentic, because if there is one place at Disney where cast members are allowed to be rude, I would say it's in France. Because if you've ever been to France, I guess I won't go too much into it, but yeah, rudeness and France just go together, I would say. So,
oh, man.
They weren't rude, but it was the kind of like, here we go again kind of attitude. I was like, this is perfect. This feels just like France to me.
Yeah. So. Fair enough. I just, that's my favorite part of it, is just being that. And it's a very abrupt change. It's not like the other places too, where like sometimes they do these little tricks to make it kind of flow. It's literally like you're in France, and then you're in, I don't know what comes next. It's not the America Pavilion, but
it's Morocco.
Or
after France?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Morocco.
I don't remember the order of them. All I remember is that if you start one way, you're in Canada, you're in the other way, you're in Mexico. And, and it's always a debate when you get there. Do you want to start in Mexico or do you want to start in Canada?
Yeah. Where do you usually start?
Mexico.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Because I really like to ride the Grand Fiesta Tour.
Yeah. So. What's France your favorite pavilion then? Favorite country?
I would say so, because there's a lot of good food. There's there's an ice cream place back there, a really good pastry shop. And then we just found another place that's got crepes in the back, right? Like before you get onto the Ratatouille ride. So
yeah. Mexico's really good. France is good. And then also Morocco, I think, is again, nothing in there that I'm like, there's not like a restaurant or anything I can, recommend. It's just I love walking back there. The funny thing though is, and last thing is just, when they were trying to build World Showcase, first they started by going to like the governments of these countries to go, hey, do you want to sponsor like a pavilion? And they're like, no, we can't like justify spending $50 million on a theme park in Orlando, so no. But they would go to they ended up going to different corporations from those countries to build them. But yeah, in between, if you walk through those, you're walking from one country to another, there's usually like kind of just this kind of, blank area where there's like some trees and stuff. Those are supposed to be like plots for other countries that, would come at some point. The last one that they've added was Norway, which was in like 1989. So they, that hasn't worked out. I know that people always talk about like, what's another country you could add? I've heard Brazil come up a lot. But I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get another one. So see. All right.
Doubt it.
Yeah. Probably not. Not unless they can put like a princess in there or something, a Disney princess, not like a head of state. All right. Let's move on. Number 5, we've got Main Street USA. Now this is number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
And this was not on your list at all.
And this is the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
If I could go back and replace one of my other ones, it would have been with this. And I don't know why, because I love Main Street USA.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like about it is how darn crowded it is.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. It is trying to get out of there after fireworks or at the end of the night.
When the Dapper Dans are coming through, they're always ushering people out of the streets, get on the sidewalk, and you're like, the sidewalk's not that big.
People trying to take pictures, get their picture of the castle. There's like somebody, there's a photo pass photographer in the middle, and there's like 20 groups waiting their turn. I get it.
That's the only reason for me.
Yeah. Of course, this is Main Street USA. Of course, is like at Magic Kingdom. This is the entrance land. Every Disney castle park has a main street, or I think the one in Shanghai is called something different, but they all kind of have like this main street area. It's themed to the turn of the century, like a small town, the turn of the century. There's, if you want to call them attractions, there's like the station for the railroad there, and then there's like the main street vehicles. So you have like the horse-drawn carriage and the omnibus and the little fire truck and stuff. But yeah, it's mainly just shops and stores and restaurants. But to me, it's just always like, it's that signal of like, I'm in Magic, like I'm in Disney now. It just always, I just think about going back for the first time in 20 years and getting on Main Street, and it just feels exactly the same, exactly the way I remembered it. And just the charm is all there. So that's why, I can't even really put it into words. It's more just like the feeling of like, I'm on Main Street. Like, this is where
I get it.
Yeah. When you're like planning a trip, you're like, this is what I've been thinking about.
I feel like this would be at the top of my wife's list too, because I think every time we get there, especially it's like right before you go, because the train comes overhead and you kind of walk under that. I don't even know what you want to call it.
The train station. Yeah.
You walk through the train station, and then when it opens up and you're in that hub there, because you can't really see the castle right away because you're coming in on either side, and it kind of converges into that main. Now, when you get to that point, it's amazing. And then they got there's that bench right there, and I think it's not Walt, it's
Roy.
Roy Disney.
Yeah. You have the bench with statue of Roy and Minnie Mouse there. Little detail I always think about is that Magic Kingdom's Main Street is a little different than Disneyland's. Of course, like when they built it, this was the second park they'd ever built. But Magic Kingdom's Main Street actually has more of a East Coast influence, because again, Main Street, when it opened at Disneyland, was kind of a nostalgia land for the older crowd, for the parents and grandparents of the families, because it would have been only 50 years removed, from that time period. So going into, they created Magic Kingdom, they looked more towards like East Coast cities of, what kind of downtowns would have looked like. Kind of, I'm thinking like kind of, Maryland, like seaside coastal areas.
Yeah.
It has more of that like ornate Victorian feel because they're trying to make it, when they wanted Magic Kingdom to feel a lot more grand and big. So everything's a little bit bigger. Everything's a little bit more grand. So.
Yeah, because I always got that like with the hot dog Casey's Corner, you get that kind of like Coney Island type feel. Yeah.
So I don't know, and I always end up, at the park either really early or really late. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I usually try to stick around like after something like fireworks or something because I don't want to. It's going to take you an hour to get on the monorail. You might as well just hang out in the park for another hour.
That's true.
So I end up like leaving kind of near the end of the night, and there's not as many people there, and it feels awesome to be able to walk through and not be stampeded. So yeah, all right. That was number 5. So now we're at number 4. We're getting into our top 4, which is not a number you would usually talk about, but number 4, we've got Adventureland, and Bruce, you ranked this at number 8, and I ranked this at number 4. So of course, Adventureland is in Magic Kingdom. It's that first lane you get to on the left if you walking off of Main Street, and it's themed to adventure. There's things that are jungle themed. There's things that are kind of themed to more like Middle Eastern as well. There's a little bit of that, and then in the back you've got the Caribbean Plaza where Pirates of the Caribbean is. It's kind of more kind of has that Spanish influence. So this was only number 8 on yours. So why number 8 for you?
I think because it's got just enough to get to pique my interest, but not like enough to hold me there. Because so you walk in, you go over to the little bridge, and you go into the the archway, whatever. Does it say Adventureland on it?
It does. Yeah.
So you walk through there. It's just a couple of shops. It's where you get the Dole Whip stands right there on the right and everything. Mm-hmm. But this like the Swiss Family Robinson tree is there. Yeah. It's grand. It's huge. I love going in there. And there's nothing to do on it. You're just walking through, and you can look at the little props they got and everything. And even when you get over to like, oh my gosh, some of the other rides in there, you got the Magic Carpets.
Jungle Cruise, there's Jungle Cruise, Magic Carpets of Aladdin.
Yeah. The theming around Jungle Cruise isn't anything to write home about. The ride itself, I think, is great. I'm trying to take the rides out of it, but outside of it, there's not a lot of like jungle theming.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but it's really when you get past that into like where Pirates is at and everything that really piques my interest in seeing the pirate flags and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no, that's why it's kind of fell a little later on my list, because I like the theming that is there, but it's kind of like
it is a little bit of a mishmash.
Yeah.
Especially like Magic Carpets of Aladdin, I think has only been there since like 2001. So it kind of it was not a good addition. I feel like it weakened the land, because number one, it just made traffic a little more inconvenient.
It is
trying to get through there.
It is horrible.
And it doesn't exactly fit. I guess there's always been kind of this like North African, Middle Eastern kind of part of Adventureland, kind of tucked off to the side. But yeah, I don't know why it's so high for me. I think. So you were talking about the Swiss Family Treehouse. Like when I was a little kid, I remember like renting old Disney movies from like the video store and stuff. One of them was Swiss Family Robinson, and I loved Swiss Family Robinson. I think it's almost like it's one of these movies that is more influential than I realize sometimes, because I just like, why is it that I love boats and sailing and jungle and like wanting to go to tropical places? I'm like, it's because of Swiss Family Robinson, because I saw a movie where people lived in a treehouse. So I imagine like when kids go to like Harry Potter land and they see Hogwarts for the first time, like that's how I felt as a 3-year-old seeing the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. I was like, it's a real place. It exists. I was blown away by it. So the small things, of like Swiss Family Robinson treehouse was amazing to me. So, and the last time I was there, they actually had the water running and the wheel and stuff, the water wheel. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, yeah. And then Jungle Cruise is cool. Tiki, I like the Tiki Room. I like the kind of like cheesy tiki stuff. It was like, and then Pirates, one of the best Disney rides. But yeah, if we're not trying to take rides into it, I get it. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like the attempt is like enough for me, I guess, to kind of hit that like jungle theme,
Yeah. So. And to me too, it's I get excited. Pirates is one of my favorite rides. And when I hit that, I just know I'm on my way there.
Yeah.
So
you're like, I'm on my way to Pirates, so it's good.
I'm on my way to a nice air-conditioned ride.
Yeah.
And that's that kind of, I don't want to say saltwater smell because I can't really say it doesn't smell it.
Yeah, I think it's bromine is the chemical they use.
That bromine smell just pulls me in.
Just makes you think of somehow that's what you associate Pirates with is the smell of bromine. I don't know why, but yeah. And Pirates was a late addition to Adventureland as well. Like when the park first opened, that whole Caribbean Plaza was not part of Adventureland because they weren't going to build a Pirates, and then they got so many complaints because they had seen Pirates of the Caribbean like on TV and Walt Disney talking about it. And they were like, why is there no Pirates of the Caribbean here? And they're like, no, don't worry. We're going to build a cowboy water ride. You're going to love it. And they're like, no, we want a pirate. So that's why we've got Pirates, a much shorter Pirates in Florida. So, all right. All right, we're at number 3 here, and we're going to go back to Animal Kingdom. So number 3 is Asia at Animal Kingdom. You've got, at Asia, you have Expedition Everest, Cali River Rapids. There's also I think it's called Maharaja Jungle Trek. It's like the animal animal walking trail there. You had this at number 6, and I had it at number 3. And we kind of talked about some of this earlier with Africa. I think a lot of the same things apply, like really, really good detail here, really high level of immersion. I think the only reason why this ranks higher for me is Everest, and not the ride Everest, but like the mountain.
Yeah.
Talking about kind of that sameness that Animal Kingdom kind of has. Everest kind of breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's that one section where you on the path through Asia where there's like an overlook, and they've got. Have you ever seen this where there's like that shrine and it's in the same shape of Everest?
Oh, I don't know if I've.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I mean, those are some of the details there.
Oh man, I've probably seen it, and I'm just not thinking. No, I don't know. I'll look for it next time.
Yeah, it's like, so if you're walking, you pass that like I think it's like a monkey habitat. It kind of looks like an old temple.
Yeah.
And right when you walk past there, and then you see like that, you can see Everest right there over the water. There's like this shrine that they built, but it is in the same exact shape of like the mountain range. It's very cool. So it's those details like that I love. And again, that Imagineer Joe Rohde.
Yeah,
he's all over this park. And I think this is the one where everything really shines. It's just the detail is amazing.
What do you know about? Do you remember they had that island there where all the monkeys were on it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen monkeys in years.
Really?
There was no monkeys last time I went.
I remember seeing monkeys.
I thought they moved the monkeys because you used to go through there and you'd hear them. They were so loud.
You're talking about like the enclosure where there's the temple, but it is on an island, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll have to let you know next time I go because I feel like the monkeys are gone. It's right there next to the entrance to the Cali River Rapids.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't remember seeing monkeys because I went there last time and I was like, it's so quiet over here, and the monkeys were gone. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Maybe they were just chilling. I don't know.
I don't know.
They were quiet that day. Who knows? Yeah. Anything stand out to you about Asia?
No, like you said, it's about the same to me as Africa. I mean, and that's why they were like 6 and 5 on my list. It's just that immersive feeling. I mean, nothing in particular for me stands out here. I just know that when I walk into this land, that I feel like I'm in Asia.
Yeah, I think for like it's some very small things that kind of tip it over for me to compare it to like Africa, and it's even like the graphics on some of those posters and stuff are, I don't know, it looks very authentic to me because you know, I have my sister like lived in that part of the country that part of the world for a while, and I've never got to visit her, but like just seeing that kind of culture that she was a part of, I was like, this feels very authentic to me when I go there. I don't know. And then you have that whole section of, you know, where Everest is, it's almost its own land to itself. So yeah. All right. Number 2, and this is another one in Animal Kingdom, and this is Pandora, the World of Avatar. So this is themed to the Avatar movies. And do you think this belongs at Animal Kingdom?
I can't say that it belongs at Animal Kingdom, no. I mean, I just think it's because maybe of the, like, if you've ever watched the movie, right?
Yeah.
Pandora is a very lush planet.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason I can really think that it like fits in there, because obviously like they're not.
Yeah. I think the themes are right, but yeah, it is kind of like like we're talking about fictional aliens. But there was an original plan to have like fictional animals that was supposed to be part of the original Animal Kingdom, and that never really got built. But and I forgot. So this is actually number 1 for you on your list, and I listed this at number 5. So tell me, why is this number 1 for you?
It's pure wow factor for me. I mean, the just engineering that went into it to make the floating islands and the waterfalls, and then there's like interactive, like there's that spot where you can do like the music, you can play the drums and all that, and then I just love all that. And then there's that funny little, if you go and like it's on the way like in the queue, but when you're looking up, right before you get on the flight of passage, and you look up, there's this one waterfall up there, and it's not real water. And every time I go there, I just stare at it, and I'm like, holy crap, they did such a good job making it look like water.
I tried to find it last time. I couldn't find it.
It's way up at the top. It looks like that big. And it's funny because there's real water everywhere, but they decided not to waste their time making a tiny little waterfall up there, and it's just a spinning wheel.
Yeah. Well, do you know why they used the wheel instead of real water?
No, I mean, I know there's a lot of forced perspective stuff and all that, but
I mean, because if you think about it, you know, waterfalls, no matter the size of a waterfall, it's going to fall the same speed, right? Because it's just gravity. So if they're trying to make the mountain look taller than it is, so if there's a big waterfall at the top of the mountain, from your perspective, it's going to look like it's falling slower because it's bigger and it's farther away. So if they put like a real waterfall up there,
it would have been like too fast.
It would have gone too fast. You could tell that it wasn't the right perspective, so they put that in there. They could
That's what I'm talking about.
Slower than gravity.
That's why I like that land so much, because it seems to me like it. I mean, it's just the amount of, which is, I cannot wait for the new area over there, because if they put the Tropical Americas, because I'm sure they're going to put just as much effort or more into that one.
Yeah.
But that's it for me, the wow factor.
And again, who was responsible for this? Joe Rohde. This is his 3rd one on the list. Joe Rohde, man, just killing it with the theming and the attention to detail. And those floating mountains are held up by the vines on the mountains. Those are actually, you know, steel supports that they figured out. It's like kind of an engineering marvel. They like were able to make these pieces of steel look like natural, like, you know, vines that are just hanging off of the mountains. So, I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time in this land because usually when I would go with my family, I don't know, we just got into some other stuff and just never made our way over there, which is kind of insane to think, because it is like the most popular part of the park. It is very beautiful. I remember the first time seeing it going like, oh my gosh, it is really, really cool. I got to see it at night, which is pretty rare. It looks amazing at night. There's all the phosphorescent or bioluminescent plants and stuff that they have. I think the only thing what keeps it from being higher on my list was just that I didn't have the greatest experience with the rides, which I know we're talking about, like how much do the rides count here? Because I did Navi River Journey, and if you've never been on Navi River Journey, it's like a slow moving boat ride through the jungle. And again, this is supposed to be like a jungle on a alien planet, you know. So you've got different types of animals and stuff. But there's only one animatronic on this whole ride, and it's at the very end, and it's this Navi shaman, and it's supposed to be one of the most impressive advanced animatronics that Disney's ever made. I have not seen it because it was broken when I went on it.
Oh, no.
So they had like.
It is good.
They have a B, yeah. Well, they do like a B mode where they just put up a screen with a projection of the character, and it's a big letdown when you've waited like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
and then you're like, this is the one thing that I really want to see on this ride, and I don't get to see it. You know, so that was.
It's Bayou Adventure all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always one down.
I know.
But in this case, it's only one. So.
It's only, you're like, we're 0 for 1 here. And then I did Flight of Passage and waited really, really long, like longer than it had said. I mean, I think I waited, it was almost like 2.5 hours. It was a long, long wait. And got on the ride. It's good. I was impressed by it, but then like my 3D glasses weren't really working well. Like, so some of it was blurry, and I was like, it was just it didn't feel like it was worth waiting that long. And so then it kind of, not that it spoiled the land for me, but it took it down a couple notches for me. So I don't know, but I know that this is like, for a lot of people, for you, it's like the best best theme land.
And I'm not even like particularly like a huge Avatar fan.
I don't think anybody is.
Yeah, and like I don't have any like Avatar memorabilia or merchandise or anything in my house. But for me, it's just that wow factor. And mainly, if it wasn't like if they didn't do the whole floating rocks and all that, and it probably wouldn't have made the list.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to how well done it is.
Yeah,
because I don't think people really care about Avatar that much. I mean, I know that the second movie that they came out with did really well, but I think it's more about the technology of that they use to make the movies. Because let's be honest, like the first one is just Fern Gully with a bigger budget. It took them like 10 years to make, but
Fern Gully, I love it. That was a good movie when I was a kid, though.
See, Fern Gully would have fit.
Oh, but we need to hire this guy.
Yeah, I think Disney owns Fern Gully now, because didn't Fox make Fern Gully? I don't know.
Too long ago. Don't remember.
Anyways, all right, we're at number 1. All right, so this was number 2 for both of us, but the way things are going here, we've got number 1 is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So this is the Star Wars land at Hollywood Studios. It has a specific name though, because you are on the planet Batuu. The little marketplace there is called Black Spire Outpost. You've got 2 rides: Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I don't know. I think this land's really, really well themed. Immersion is like off the charts.
Yep.
It really does feel like you're in Star Wars. It may not be a like specific Star Wars movie, but you do feel like you're in a galaxy far, far away. I've always had really good interactions with the characters there. The Mandalorians walking around with Grogu, Kylo Ren. I've had some really funny interactions with Kylo Ren, Stormtroopers, and then there's some other experiences there that are, maybe harder to see, like Oga's Cantina. But I did get into Oga's Cantina one time. I had a really fun time there. They've got, I don't know, it just all feels like you're very much immersed in Star Wars, and then the Millennium Falcon's right there, seeing them. That is another one of those like wow moments of like, you've watched these movies your entire life and you're like, oh my gosh, there's the Millennium Falcon right there. And getting to fly the Millennium Falcon. So what do you think?
Yeah, same. I love the transition into that land, especially when you're going through the LA, the back lot and all that stuff. And then you go through that tunnel, and then when it opens up, it's just, I love that so much. And like you said, the Millennium Falcon really throws it over the edge for me. I'm not particularly like I like Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but I can respect every little detail that goes in. Even the merchandise is awesome. The awesome, like the milk stand and all that, where you get all the popcorn there. The food and the merchandise also kind of take me to another level.
I know that when it first opened, they really pushed that immersion. The whole idea behind this land was like, we don't want to just do a Star Wars land. We want it to, like, you're going to live your own Star Wars story. And it was to the point where, like, even if you tried to pay something with money, they'd be like, well, that's like 30 credits or whatever, everything was like everything was in universe. So that's always been impressive. I think they had a lot of plans for this land that didn't really come to fruition. A lot of that got rerouted to the Star Cruiser Hotel, and then that got shut down, which is unfortunate. But even then, I think it's still really impressive. One of my favorite. I mean, and we haven't even talked about Rise of the Resistance, which is a crazy ride. It's 15 minutes long every time. Like, there's so many like wow moments in that ride. Think about like getting on that I guess like spaceship or whatever, and then you get captured by the First Order, and that moment of everybody going. You kind of you think you understand the illusion of like, this is a simulator. And the door that I came in, or I'm sorry, like we came in one door, we're going to go through the next door, and that's where the Star Destroyer is. And then the door opens on the other side. And you're like, how the heck did they do that? Like, how are we're now on a Star Destroyer in space. So, really, really cool.
100%. 100. I don't know. Everything that you said is why I like it too. It's just, I feel like it's the one, like, okay, when I go to Toy Story Land, like I feel like I'm small and everything's larger than life. That's great. But I feel like I'm on the planet Earth. When I go to Galaxy's Edge, I literally feel like I'm on a different planet. And like you said, even as far as like when you go to order something and they say, that's going to be, 10 credits or whatever. Like, it's just those little details. Even with the cast members where like their uniforms or whatever, everything is just awesome.
Now at Disneyland, they decided, the other thing about this land was that because it was supposed to be, you're living your own Star Wars adventure, it's also all like in canon. So you want to talk about like really like nerdy Star Wars stuff. People who follow Star Wars really like worried about canon, about like what fits in the timeline. So they decided to theme this land as this is taking place between episodes 8 and 9, which, if are everyone's favorite Star Wars movie. I'm joking. Everyone's two favorite Star Wars movies, episodes 8 and 9. Now, I actually like a lot of the sequel trilogy. Episode 9 is not my favorite. But I know a lot of people are not crazy about where it is in the timeline, not having like Darth Vader and Luke and Han. Now, at Disneyland, they actually just decided to change it over to where like part of the land is the original trilogy, and then there's the other part that is still the sequel trilogy, which is basically like where Rise of the Resistance is. So how do you feel about that? I guess you're probably more of a casual Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
What do you think about the, like, having some of these characters that maybe you're not, maybe, you know, people aren't as familiar with, or maybe they're just not as, like, excited about seeing them?
Like Luke Skywalker and stuff?
No, Luke Skywalker's not in there. That's what I'm saying. Like in Disney World, they don't, like, Luke Skywalker's not there.
Right.
So, like, as someone who maybe, like, I don't know, do you think that's okay that, like, you can't meet Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker in Galaxy's Edge, but we've got Kylo Ren and Rey and Chewie?
I mean, I never, honestly, I didn't even think about it until you just mentioned it.
Really?
Yeah. But now that you mention it, because we grew up with those movies, I grew up with Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and all that. So I would like to see that, but my kids know Kylo Ren, and
that's good. Yeah.
So it's a generational thing, I think. But I mean, who's their target audience? It's just kids and adults in there alike. So
yeah, I think it's interesting. I think they're gonna kind of see how things go at Disneyland, and then maybe they'll do that at Disney World. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Like, because you can also meet Darth Vader out in front of Star Tours too. So it's like, I don't know.
Did I hear correctly that I saw an article the last day or two that they might be getting rid of Star Tours?
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Oh, I had to look it up. I shouldn't have said anything. But I did read some. I hope it wasn't one of those bum articles where I was supposed to open it up and they're like, kidding.
Oh, I've seen ones where they're like just the clickbait that you see, like, on social media, where it's like 50-year-old Disney ride closes permanently, and then you're like, and then you click on it and it's like it's going down for a refurbishment.
Oh,
like, you're like,
yeah.
why
it's
are
probably
you saying
something.
this stuff?
It's probably something dumb like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, it only made sense to me because it is so far removed from the Star Wars theming.
I feel like it could be on the chopping block only because the thing that Star Tours had over, like, the Millennium Falcon ride was that they interchange the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, the scenes are randomized so you can get that. But now they're kind of already doing that with Millennium Falcon. So then maybe it is redundant. But I don't know. But I feel like a lot of people still really like Star Tours. It just doesn't, it's just kind of, it just feels like it's in a weird spot because it's outside of Galaxy's Edge. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully not. I don't know.
Did we just finish the list?
We just finished. I guess I don't know what time it is, but anything. What were some of the things on your list that that didn't make it on this last one? If you want to just go over that real quick.
Oh gosh, where's my list on?
Yours is at the top here. No, wait, no, it's not. Sorry, it's below it, and I put some math next to that's your lists. So ignore the math that I put on here because I was trying to figure out where they were going to go.
Oh goodness.
Let's see. I think all of yours made it except for the last two.
Yeah. Oh, Animation Courtyard and the Oasis. Yeah, so Oasis, again, that we were talking about, that's the land, if you want to call it that, when you first get into Animal Kingdom. It's like there's a couple little animal exhibits, a couple little caves you can walk through, some rope bridges and things like that. It's just the entrance before the main entrance of the park, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a buffer zone until you get into the main area with the Tree of Life and everything. So I like that area. I feel like I'm in a jungle, like a close quarters jungle when I'm walking through there. I really like it.
I like the little cave paths. Yeah. Those are cool.
And then the other one that I had was Animation Courtyard. I put that was number 10 on my list, and the reason I put it on there is because I just really like what they were doing with the characters.
Yeah.
And how they're just kind of free roaming now, and it turned it into kind of a place where you can literally sit down and have a picnic if you want. It's not real grass; it's like AstroTurf, but it's shaded. And it just had a lot of life in that little area. It's very, very small. Yeah. But there was just so much like life and character interactions there that it just had to make my list.
Yeah, it looks like it's really well done. I just haven't been since they've added it.
If it wasn't for the free roaming characters, it might not have made the list, but that just like, because I thought when I first got there, I saw it was like Pluto or something like that, and he was walking, and I thought it was one of those things where he just got done taking photos and like, hey, no more. He's like, Pluto's got
like walking him off.
Pluto's got to take a water break, but no, like he just shaking hands here, going over here, sat down. They literally like 4 characters came out and had a picnic.
That's awesome. Maybe they can keep him around a little bit longer since it's shaded. Because I mean that's the whole thing is like they usually take breaks because it is so hot out.
No, I mean it wasn't one of these days here recently where I guess they had like like almost a shelter in place kind of day where it got like be 105 degrees and they told no one to go outside and ACs were breaking down and
apparently what was it, Wilderness Lodge? They had a bunch of ACs go out.
Yeah, that
would be awful. So on my list, the only stuff I had Tomorrowland at number 7, and Tomorrowland was always my favorite land, like as a kid. And this is more that like 90s Tomorrowland that was kind of like Buck Rogers, Spaceport Tomorrowland. That was that, comic book style. I loved like, especially going as a little kid and seeing the like 70s Tomorrowland and then going like getting a little bit older and they redid it and was like, whoa, this is so cool, and this is that same era of Alien Encounter and Timekeeper, all of that. A lot of that theming has gone away because they're kind of going back to that mid-century retrofuturism, I guess, but some of it's still there. Most of it's been taken out, but I don't know. I still get kind of the same feeling of it when I'm there, but it's gone down on my list because number one, like where Alien Encounter and Stitch was, that's still empty, and some of that theming is gone. I feel like they need to do that. They need to finish the full transition to that, like, mid-century futurism, because like even when they redid Buzz, like they redid the entrance and it looks more like that kind of like classic Tomorrowland. They just need to finish it because there's some places that still have the old theming or it needs more theming. That's what I don't know.
No, I agree. I think it was a little updating, and I'm not a huge fan of the Astro Orbiter or anything like that. Now, I mean, rides aside, but like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I love going in. I love that section of the parks. I love the People Mover, and I love the Carousel of Progress, and I love all the rides in there. It's just like
it's stacked with rides.
Yeah. I mean, the theming overall, I could take or leave it.
Yeah. I think it needs I think they're doing better, and especially if you've ever looked at Disneyland's Tomorrowland, which looks terrible. At least we got one thing that's better than Disneyland, but it does need to they just need to finish it, I feel like.
If it was on my list at all for anything, it'd be because it has a Joffrey's.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and then the other one that was on my list that didn't make it was Liberty Square, actually. It was number 10. And I just think it's underrated. I don't know. I've appreciated it a little bit more, especially because Frontierland is in this transition phase right now. And Liberty Square is kind of even though the Liberty Bell was in Liberty Square, it still always felt more like Frontierland. So this part still feels more put together than Frontierland does right now. But I like all the little details. I don't know. It was one of those places that it was an idea that Walt Disney had for Disneyland. He wanted to make Liberty Street. It was going to be this area off of Main Street, and they took that, created Liberty Square. I did the Hall of Presidents for the first time this year, and I was like, I love the Hall of Presidents. This is a great show, yeah. And I don't know. And then the Haunted Mansion. You've got the Haunted Mansion. I think Haunted Mansion has the better. I think Orlando's Haunted Mansion has the better facade, the kind of gothic estate over the Disneyland's is more that southern plantation mansion.
Right now, it's just a big drape.
That's true. Yeah. Even with that, I guess I forgot about that it is behind that scrim.
Well, and they don't do the Muppet Show there anymore either.
No.
And I saw a funny video the other day where this guy's like, hot take, I wish they would take the map in the app and add the brown path.
Oh yeah, the brown path.
He's like, it needs to be on the map.
Do you think that's real? So a lot of people think that there's like this brown path that goes through Liberty Square. It's kind of a brownish reddish color. And people say this is like, well, it's because they didn't have bathrooms in the colonial times, so people would throw their chamber pots in the street.
I'm pretty sure that's historically accurate. Now, it wasn't the width of this table like that path is, but they did have they didn't have buried piping, so I think stuff did flow through the streets, albeit.
Well, I'm not disputing that. I'm saying, is that why it's there? Is that like, were they trying to simulate like human waste in the middle of the Magic Kingdom? I just don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it makes so much sense that I just choose to believe that, yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's all.
You just choose.
I just choose to believe that's what it is.
It is the Magic Kingdom. Anything's possible. No, I tend to think that like, because originally those weren't like, it wasn't concrete, it was stone pavers, and because they realized, well, we can't do all stone pavers because people will trip on them, and then I think they replaced them eventually because people were even tripping on the little pieces of brick that they had. They're like, well, we can't keep them here because of the parade and stuff.
In all honesty, it's probably not what it is, because I mean, historically, it was not a big river flowing through, and that's what the path is. It's like this, and it wasn't. Because
Frontierland would have the same thing, because there was no indoor plumbing in the Old West. I don't know. I guess there's less people in the Frontier, but I don't know. Anyways,
interesting talk.
Great place to end here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, everyone, that was our top 10 favorite lands in Disney World. I'm sure we've got plenty more top 10 lists that we can think up coming up. I love doing these. I think they're super fun. I think we did one. We've done a ride one already, or our top 10 roller coasters. We should do one just of our top rides in general.
Yeah.
But either way,
good topic.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out wherever you listen to podcasts. I finally did figure out how to get our videos on both Apple Music and Spotify. So if you want to stream the podcast and watch the video, you can do that there now too. So
all right,
that's it.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening. And watching and listening and everything else. So all right, appreciate it.